Yes. Also, we're currently live. Do you want us? Oh, don't worry. No one can hear us right now. Yes. No. No. They cannot hear us yet. Oh. They shouldn't be able to.
Are there people watching? It's only you, Josh. It's only you that I can hear.
Oh. Hi. We're starting a D&D podcast with the school. Everyone say hello.
Hello. Hi.
We're a bunch of nerds that go to Anoka Ramsey, to the Anoka Ramsey Community College, with access to Twitch. So we're going to be streaming our D&D games. I know you can see me. Hi, I'm Josh. And we can introduce everyone else. We can go start from left to right. Left, starting with Anthony.
I'm Anthony. I'm going to be the dungeon master for this campaign.
I'm Bones. I'm a player. Sprig, I'm also a player. Should we do pronouns too?
Oh, those are on the stream.
Oh yeah, they're on the screen.
Oh yeah.
I'm Spark. I'm also a player.
Cosmo. You'll never guess, but I'm a player. I'm Olivia, and honest to God, I don't know what I am.
Okay, I'm Delaney, and I currently cannot get my dice out of its folder.
What's an elf?
Like, they just won't come out.
Delaney's supposed to be a player, but sadly that might not be in the cards.
Supposed to be a player. Oh, at least I'm just
Well,
So,
Anthony, you're the DM.
so. So, after the town you originally came from was raided and your family most likely killed, you sought refuge in the small town near you called Greenhouse. You have been traveling for the last few days along this road that is just open. You see hundreds of miles beyond you and there's nothing. It's just an open plain and a tiny settlement crops up from this field, and you only assume that it's to be Greenhouse. As you continue to travel along this road, it takes you probably another couple of days to get there, at least on foot with how you are now. And as you finally make it to Greenhouse, it is about sundown. And as you enter, you see this village. You see this small village. It probably a bit larger than the one you came from, but still quite small, nevertheless. As you enter the village, you don't really seem to see a lot of people. It just seems to be a lot of. It seems like the village is starting to die down at this time. What would you like to do?
Is there anyone I can see?
Every now and again, you probably see a couple of people moving around, and they seem to mainly be carrying things between houses and packing up certain. It seems to be a lot of like a farming town, and at this time, this small town seems to be just getting the harvest is just starting.
Or can I go up to the closest person and ask where I can stay?
As you approach this older male human gentleman, he turns back to you as he's still, even in his older age, seems to be carrying this large box and helping the rest of what seems to be his family. As he stops and turns to you, "Welcome to Greenhouse. Is there something you needed?"
Well, I was wondering if there was a place I could stay for a short while.
"Oh, well, there is the inn at the other side of town."
Oh, okay, thank you.
So you are roughly like here-ish, and he tells you to go to the other side of town.
Right there.
Oh, I have a bad color. Just a second. There we go. Hopefully you can see it better now, the white.
Okay.
there anything else I can help you with?
Can I help you with your box at all?
I mean, the family is doing fine right now, but if you wanted to help, we wouldn't be opposed.
I guess I can. All right, nothing else to be doing?
All right. That would be great help. We're just bringing it over to our house right here. Oh wait, no, that's not the house. This is the house. This is where we're carrying it from.
Oh, so they're just carrying it across.
Yeah,
the
just
street.
across the street. There does seem to be quite a few large boxes that are there.
I'm just gonna walk over and pick one up.
Okay,
Or
can you make a strength check for me?
10.
The box doesn't seem to be super heavy, but it's not super light either. Like you're able to carry it fine, but it's not an easy task. And I assume you begin to bring boxes.
Yes,
up.
I start to walk towards the other place where they're bringing the boxes.
They seem to just be kind of like, some of the boxes seem to be going inside, some of them seem to be being left outside.
I'm going to ask the man that I met when I got here, where should I put this box?
As you ask him that, he seems to have just set down another box. As he kind of, what now?
Where should I put this box?
Oh, good question. I'm not quite sure. For now, I guess just leave it outside.
Okay, I'm just gonna set it down next to the one that he set down.
And you do so. Are you going to continue with getting boxes?
Yes, I'm going to turn back around and go back for another box.
How many boxes do you think you helped this family move?
Well, like how many are there?
Not a ton, but when you got there was probably another like 12-ish boxes.
I can just keep helping until they're gone or moved or all moved.
So after like probably not that long, like 10, 20-ish minutes, you are able to get all the boxes over, and the majority of them are inside and a couple of them were left outside. Well, thank you for your help. That was most kind of you.
You're welcome at all.
Yeah, if you're looking, yeah, the tavern on the other side of town should be able to take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Or I'm going to start heading towards the tower.
Yay!
You too.
He says as he goes into the house. And so you travel along the town. As you continue to travel, when you get around here-ish, whoa, what's happening with the map? There we go. Map just like exploded for a second. So as you get about there, you see below, more in this kind of open area, there seems to be a lot of, would you race? What's your race again?
It's Hexblade.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you probably right. So you see a large group of what appears to be like a lot of tieflings that seem to kind of be a lot of younger tieflings that seem to be kind of playing games in this area. And then there seem to be some older tieflings that are just kind of like, not like older, like teenage tieflings that seem to be watching the rest of the younger ones.
Just going to keep walking.
Continue. As you get here, you notice that there seems to be a lot more activity here, and there's a lot of humans that seem to be intermingling with each other and like kind of just talking about the day. And I'm assuming you continue.
Yes.
Okay. As you continue, you get about here, and then you realize you don't know exactly where the tavern is.
That is a good point. I do not.
So what would you like to do? Would you like to go left, straight, or right?
I'll just keep going straight.
Okay. So as you get here, you notice not a lot of activity, but you also notice that this road seems to lead out of town.
If I look around, can I see anything that like looks like a tavern?
As you look up across the road towards up here, that seems to be quite fitting of the description.
I'll walk that way.
And you do so. Not much really happens on your way. You see a couple of humans and a couple of tieflings, but not many other races. The majority seems to be humans and tieflings. And as you continue, you make your way to this stone fenced tavern. It seems to be about 2 stories high, and there is a small. It like juts the top floor seems to like jut out from the bottom floor. What would you like to do?
I'll walk up to the door and knock on it loudly.
Knock on the door. After like 30 seconds, someone opens the door and you see inside there's not a lot of patrons, but considering how small the town seems to be, it does seem to be quite a good amount of people. And they seem to kind of just be playing drinking games. They seem to be just kind of existing in this tavern. And this patron that opens the door seems very obviously drunk and says, "Why are you knocking on my door?" My door? Wait. Why are you knocking on the door?
Is it a problem that I knocked on the door?
You can just walk in, I think. That's what I did.
Okay, well then next time I will just walk in and not knock.
Okay. What were we talking about?
We weren't talking about anything.
Okay. As this patron seems to go back to their group by a table and leaves the door open.
I'm just going to walk in and look for like a barkeep or someone.
Okay. There does seem to be a bar, and there is a barkeep behind it. Seems to be cleaning glasses at this time.
So I will approach them and ask where in town I can stay for the night.
You can stay here. I mean, there is fee, of course, because you can't just stay in a room for free, but here is probably the best place.
Or how much is a room? Like how much for a room per night?
Room for a night, 2 silver pieces.
Okay, this is a dumb question, but so if I have gold pieces, can I just use those as silver pieces, or do I have to convert them at some point?
You would be able to like give them, and generally people could give you change.
Okay. I'll just hand him 1 gold piece then.
Want me to keep this?
I mean, I like change back.
Okay. You see gold around here a lot. Where do you come from? As he starts to like go under and pull out a box that seems to have some coin in it.
Just from the next town over.
Birdhouse?
Yes.
Oh. You sure it was Birdhouse? What? Why'd you come all this way to Greenwich?
I'm just traveling.
Okay. Whatever you say, you traveler. As he pulls out and gets out 8 silver. There you go. And he pushes 8 silver to you. Well, back to you.
I'll take it and put it in my pocket or whatever.
And he also turns around and hands you a key that has a little like tag on it that says 1.
Take the key from him.
And he goes back to cleaning glasses. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Not for now, thank you.
Have a good night. Have a good stay.
So I'll turn around and look for like stairs or something.
So you see a balcony that has doors, and you see that the doors on the side. And when you came inside the tower, you noticed there was a set of stairs outside. So you can only assume that those stairs lead up to the room.
Then I'll walk back towards the door. Is the door still open?
Well, did you close the door?
I did not close the door.
Then no, it's still open.
The door is still open. I will walk back outside and close the door. And walk up the stairs.
You do so. And as you get up the stairs, and I'm assuming you just go to your room. As you enter the room, it is a fairly small room. There's just one bed, then like a little nightstand, and then there's also a lockbox. But nothing else really. The room seems very small.
I guess I'll sit down.
Like on the bed. Okay. You do so. The bed seems surprisingly soft, considering the town, how small it is. Do you sleep?
Yeah, I guess so.
You sleep for the night. As you wake up to the sound of birds, and they seem to be.
Are they crows?
No, they're not crows.
Are they ravens?
Are they trying to send us to Vallaki?
No, the jokes are coming already. No. They're not. The birds are not ravens, and they're not trying to send you to Vallaki.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm very sure.
Because we weren't trying to go to Vallaki either. Wait, okay. Disregard that.
Do you want to go to Vallaki?
No,
Certainly not. No.
You hear the sound of birds you hear the sound of birds as you wake up to the bright morning sun.
I will just get out of bed and leave the room
Do so.
and walk back down the stairs to the outside of the building.
There doesn't when you leave your room, there is still like the balcony, so you do see the interior of the tavern. You do still see you see a different barkeep now, and the majority of the patrons that were there seem to be gone.
So yeah, I'll just continue outside.
Okay, you do so. You make your way outside.
Making my way downtown.
Oh.
Walking fast.
And I'm home back. Do.
Based on the map, I don't think I'm downtown quite yet.
Well,
No.
You can't be walking fast.
that's why you're making your way.
No.
You asked for this.
So what would you like to do?
Continue in the opposite direction I came from. So back down the road goes towards the fork, or not fork, the intersection.
Here.
Yes.
You make your way back down there, and the majority, there seems to be quite a lot of people, like all of the houses pretty much seem to be empty, and there seem to be people everywhere. They seem to be doing all kinds of things, like planting things. This seems like a very large crop type of area. And as you are looking from there, you look down and you see this in the corner, this mill that does seem to be running from the river water. So as you get back to that intersection, what would you like to do?
Continue back towards continuing it on the way back from where I came. So towards what I assume is the town center.
Here?
Yes.
Okay. So you continue back into the town, into there. You do so, and you see a lot of people again. A lot for how small the town seems to be. It does seem to be quite a lot of people, and there seems to be not a very good mix, but there does seem to be a mix of tieflings and humans. If you had to give a rough estimate, or like 80% of the population seems to be human, while the other 20 seems to be mainly tieflings. So as you continue into the town square,
Or what is the nearest person to me doing?
They're probably conversing with other. A lot of this area seems to be conversing with each other. So, as you are, let's see, what's that? One tiefling does go up to you, not a super old tiefling, but he seems to look a lot older than he is, and that seems very apparent to you, as he does have like a small white beard and like a very bald head with 2 small horns and a nice like a good dark crimson red colored skin. And he goes up to you and says, "You must be new in town."
Indeed, I am.
We don't get a lot of people in Greenhouse.
Well, here I am.
Well, why are you here?
Just traveling.
Just traveling.
Stopping here. There's nowhere else inside.
Yeah. That usually is how the fields go. What makes it such a good farming spot. But why are you really? Just travel? I'm not so sure I believe that, considering you seem to be alone and you didn't bring a caravan with you.
Is that a problem?
Usually if people are traveling through Greenest, they generally will have a caravan, because we're quite a ways out from the other nearer towns.
So, what's the point?
Why don't you have a caravan?
Do I need one?
I guess not. But I get a feeling that you're not really traveling.
Okay, then what do you think I'm doing?
Running from something.
Which is?
I'm not sure. Why don't you tell me? I mean, if you don't want to tell me, you don't have to. But usually Cirilla likes to see the newcomers. You should probably make your way over to the sanctuary at some point.
Who?
Cirilla.
Where is the sanctuary?
Sanctuary? Other side down the far corner. It's very difficult to miss it. Where I'm pinging on the map. Because this person pings on the map, yes.
They have a form of echolocation, but only for other people.
They just scream very loudly, and then a scream comes back.
How they connect with their minds to a bird flying through the sky. It looks down that uses radar.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I'll go there.
Oh, yeah. She's usually pretty nice, so don't worry about it. As he seems to be the only he goes into this house. And he seems to he goes into that house, and he seems to be like the only tiefling that lives in the town square area. And so you go to the sanctuary. As you make your way around, when you get back to this area, you don't see any of the tieflings there anymore. They just don't seem to be there. And you just continue to the sanctuary. As you get there, outside, you see quite a few middle-aged humans and tieflings alike that seem to be waiting outside of this very church-looking building. And there are also a couple of tieflings that seem to be wearing more like, how do I describe this? More regal attire, and they seem to be like church staff. With like they're wearing robes, and it's full white and green. Those are the main colors that are used.
I guess I'll just kind of walk up and join the crowd, waiting for whatever.
The majority of people don't really seem to notice, and those that do don't really seem to care. They just seem to allow you to exist. You just wait. After probably about a half hour of sitting there, you see that the doors of this church do seem to open, as you see a lot of children from inside of the church seem to run out towards these more middle-aged people that seem to be their parents. As the parents gather their children and they begin to leave.
I'm just going to.
The few church staff that are there do seem to be staying though.
I'm just going to wait for the other people to disperse and then walk towards the church.
After probably like 5-10 minutes of conversing again, the vast majority, pretty much all of them, have left, and the rest of the church staff seem to be entering the church at this time.
Can I walk up to one of the church staff and ask if Cerelia is there? I was told to see Cerelia in town.
Cerelia, yes. She should be inside.
Can I come in?
Of course, we are welcome to. All are welcome.
And, I will continue in.
As the few church staff that were outside seem to disperse throughout the church, and they seem to kind of be just performing mundane tasks. There seems to be a lot of plant growth within the building, and vines seem to kind of have taken over pretty much everything inside. Even the pews seem to be made entirely of plants. As you see, sitting towards the back of the altar, you see this very you see a tiefling. You see a tiefling that seems to be kneeling down, and just seems to be sitting there. Even though she is kneeling, she seems like when she is standing, she is quite tall. As one of the church staff goes to her and whispers into her ear. As you are looking at her, I should probably describe her. She has long, dark black hair that seems to be it's surprisingly well kept, despite not. It doesn't look like she creams her hair. It just looks like naturally well kept. She has very similar robes to those of the church staff, and she has instead of the deep crimson that you saw of some of the other tieflings, she has a bright red colored skin, and she has deep green eyes with two also blackish horns, kind of like ram horns. So they start here, then they start, then they curl up, and then they curl again and go even further. They seem to be very large horns for other tieflings. And on the horns, there seems to be flowers that are woven into the horns.
They're so pretty. I want.
Oh, I do have. It's not the best picture of her because I had to use Hero Forge, but I mean I can show you what she's supposed to look like. Something like this.
And now she's a giant kaiju destroying the city.
Yes, now she's a giant kaiju destroying the city. Exactly.
Roll for initiative.
Roll for initiative. Yes.
Do it.
No, don't. Pop. Now she pops out of
I'm
it.
talking about Olivia saying what she wants to say.
I don't think it's allowed.
Oh.
On
Okay.
Twitch? Or just in guess?
Yes.
Both.
Yes. Just yes.
Ah, I get it.
Talk about how hot characters are anymore?
No.
Well, there's nothing stopping us from saying it, from asking.
Fine. Yes, she is there.
Is what? Oh,
You haven't met her yet.
so I can still appreciate.
Oh my god. So
I have a question. Why is she orange?
she's not orange. She's
red.
she's one, she's red, and two, she's a tiefling.
She looks orange.
You look orange.
I know. That's called sun.
Ah, the map! No! How is this orange to
I'm
you?
the map.
Okay, I guess it is red, but you know, sometimes
How she pops out
we
of
make
existence.
mistakes.
Okay. So she is kneeling down and she extends her, as she moves her arms, it seems like the church itself seems to kind of move as like with the movement of her hands, plants and vines just seem to kind of move with them. As she beckons you to come forward and like some vines kind of manifest or just like
I'm going to slowly step forward.
Mother.
the staff have told me that you sought me out.
Yes, I was told to meet you here in town.
Yes, you are new. I do enjoy meeting newcomers. What? Why are you here? Why have you come to this? You don't get a lot of travelers, but those of you do always seem to be quite happy. I'm sure you will come to view Greenest as a sort of second home. And then Greenest does welcome all, as does Shantia. I see. It is always nice to see newcomers, and you seem very interesting, and I think that many good things will happen to you.
Like what, or is it just
Just a feeling.
good things?
Just a feeling. You seem tense.
For the person that told me to meet you, seemed very like interrogated. But no.
No. Usually, most in Greenest are very welcoming. If you are just traveling, it was good to see you, and potentially I may see you again someday. How long are you planning on staying?
Probably no more than 3 days.
Well, then may they be well rested. May you be well rested. If that is all.
Turn around and walk towards the door then.
As you turn and leave, she begins to wave to you as like a lot of the church just kind of seems to like sway with her arms movements. So you leave the church. What would you like to do? Two church staff that were at the door also do close the doors behind you.
Isn't it still like early morning?
Yeah. Midday-ish. Not like almost midday.
I'll just kind of walk around, I guess.
Walk around town. There just seems to be a lot of It's just mainly a lot of people preparing for the harvest, and a lot of people just kind of preparing for what's happening.
Can I go up to one of them and ask, what are you preparing for? Or what are you doing?
So what?
I'm just going to go up to the nearest person and ask, like, or what they're doing, or like, what are they doing, what they're doing for, if that makes any sense.
Well, we're preparing for the harvest.
Or what is that?
A lot of crops are. We're getting ready to plant a lot of crops, and hopefully Shanti's lessons will be with us with that. They have in the past.
That's not a harvest then. You're planting the seeds, unless there are other ones that you're reaping. I'm just pointing out that it's not harvested. You're not.
Oh, you don't understand.
Oh.
You don't. Oh, if you're here for the next couple of days, you'll understand.
Okay.
As like this person and a couple of other people kind of start to not like laugh at you, more laugh at kind of like it's just funny to them.
Do you mind telling me what it is that harvest is?
Oh, you'll see.
Or what are you harvesting?
You'll see. You'll see.
Okay, I'm just going to.
If you're here, how long are you planning on being here?
2 or 3 days.
Okay.
Just going to kind of walk away and leave.
Okay. And as you're leaving, the group kind of continues to laugh.
Oh no. No.
So what would you like to do? Oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
The projector just died.
Of
What?
course.
That is not good.
The projector just kind of popped out of existence.
Ah. This looks like we're going blind. Or at least you guys are.
Well, I can see everything.
Projector turned off. Okay, it's turning back on.
Must have just turned off from not using it.
Which is so strange. It's never happened before.
Huh.
Wonderful
we've
technical
always used
difficulties.
it. It's never turned off before. Huh. Interesting. Okay, there we go. We good now.
Is there anywhere like a bench or something I can sit down?
Where do you think you would be in town when you asked the person about the harvest?
Probably like somewhere near the town center, but not like in it.
Left or right side?
Oh, right.
So like here.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
You remember that at the church there were benches.
I mean, anywhere else. Or did I see any?
Just like benches? No, they were mainly at the church.
I'm just gonna find like a spot where there aren't people and just sit down on the ground.
Oh my god. Okay. Well. Okay. So the majority, the probably the place that would be most prevalent would be around this field area.
Or I'll just kind of sit on the other bit.
And what do you do when you sit? As you travel along, you see a lot of townsfolk that do seem to wave at you as you go by, and as you sit down, the grass feels surprisingly surprisingly nice. It's the grass itself kind of seems to be. The grass itself seems to be giving off this inviting, welcoming feeling to it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and sit down.
You do. As you sit in the grass, it feels surprisingly nice.
It is grass.
It is grass.
I have touched grass.
You touch grass.
If you want.
Ba 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 da.
Dun, dun. What do you do when you sit in the grass? Lol.
I'm just gonna
Imagine
just kind of sit there and watch people walk around, I guess.
I guess I'll wait for you to come back.
Oh, you were going to meet?
Maybe.
Oh.
I mean, maybe.
That is
So the puns begin. So,
Alright.
you.
Me.
Line.
Wait, you're the DM. You're supposed to have all the lines.
Frey, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We just switched from a different
Yeah.
campaign, so like I need to get used to naming it. You.
The one that thing.
That one. Yeah. I'm just a teacher now. That one. You.
So we have two names that start with F.
Let's
Like
go.
FP.
Wait.
I don't know. Maybe not.
No.
They both start with F though.
There's
We have
three
three
on
of
Ben.
them.
Okay, but that's so familiar. Like they're.
There's two that start with T.
There's three that start with T.
Three?
Yeah.
I'm the only one
I start with a V.
I start with an L.
Dang, Delaney really taking an L.
Hey.
God. So, after you had been essentially ostracized from the village, you made your way along this road to try and get away. You were informed that Greenest would be a good place to go. And as you approach from this side of the town, you approach from the other side of the town. As you see again this open field, this just massive open field that spans for hundreds of miles, and a small tiny settlement pops up in the open expanse. But other than that, there has also been a very large forest that seems to be like in the middle of the field.
Okay.
The road does continue to the small settlement that you are sure is your nest.
In the field around me, like what's growing there?
It doesn't seem like anything is growing. It just seems to be kind of like an open expanse. I need to get my map. Seems to just be an open expanse.
So like it's just dirt?
There is grass.
Okay.
It is, yeah, there is
It's
still
not
grass.
like flowers or anything.
No.
Okay.
There, every now and again there's a couple, but not many. That doesn't seem to be mainly what is there.
I'll just walk into Venus then.
Alright. As you continue, at this point it is probably like high noon, roughly. Like very, very much like that midday point. And as you enter this small village that you were informed of would be a good safe haven, you see a lot of humans and tieflings working together and trying to. It looks like they are preparing something. Or not that one.
Okay.
You see that a lot of the houses seem to be made out of like wood and a lot of natural materials. The only thing in the entire town that seems to be made from non-natural material is the small amounts of stone around a couple of the buildings, as well as large keep that seems to be in the middle of town. What would you like to do?
I would like to walk up to somebody near me, and they're still like getting ready for something.
Yes.
I would like to ask what they're getting ready for, because I didn't hear everything.
Oh, a new thing. What are you?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. You a centaur?
Yep, I'm a centaur.
You get a very large feeling that like no one in town has ever seen anything that looks like this.
That's fair.
What are you?
I'm a centaur. You probably haven't.
I've been having it happen.
One of, half horse,
Like
half
yeah, I was
person.
about to say you look like a horse.
Yeah.
We have a lot of horses. We have a lot of horses.
I don't
Got the horse.
I don't need one, thank you.
Okay. What?
Wait,
I don't understand. What? Why? I'm confused.
Just how I was born.
Okay. Okay. You said you needed something?
Yeah, I just noticed that you seemed like you're preparing for something.
Oh yeah, the harvest.
Harvest? Oh, do you need help with that? I can lift a lot.
Oh. I mean, we got most of it ready last night.
So you're good then? Okay. What are you harvesting, if you don't mind me asking?
A lot of things. Mainly, probably wheat and barley. Of course you would think that.
I mean, it's a very valid thing to be harvesting.
That's what I was thinking of. when
You're
you were
going to
talking
get
about glass.
bonked by Meta Hammer.
Partially deaf.
You're going to get bonked by Meta Hammer. I will bring Meta Hammer. Meta Hammer. It's a meme. Whenever a player metagames, they get bonked by Meta Hammer. Metagaming is like when your character doesn't know something, but the player does. So the player forces something onto the character without the character. Like if the player, because Bones has no idea what Bones' character has no idea what the harvest is, but if their character knew what it was, but because they know what it is, then that would be metagaming.
Like if the conversation I had with that person on the street, if they use that information,
Yeah.
they don't have access to that information.
They don't know that.
Okay.
That would be
So,
metagaming.
The raven thing earlier.
What?
What?
Oh, the bird?
Bird?
Yeah. That's a meme though. That's a group.
When you said
joke.
ostracized, I thought of bird.
Oh, the bird. No. That's not what it would. No.
Ostrich?
Yeah.
Ostrich?
Ostracized. Obviously, it's ostrich exercise.
Ostracized?
Ostrich.
You gotta size your ostrich.
Size your ostrich.
Gotta make sure it's not too big or too small.
They should look pretty big.
They are. They're massive.
You know, like an ostrich egg could feed like an entire family.
You know that you can jump up and down on an ostrich egg, and you are more likely to break your ankle than you are to break the shell.
Cool. Can I try it?
No. I mean, if you find an ostrich, sure.
I literally not.
Preferably not.
An ostrich age.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't.
You have to
jump on
survive
an
the
ostrich.
You have to survive the ostrich
Just
first.
saying, because that ostrich will be angry.
Yeah,
that you're
very
stomping on
angry.
its egg.
So what would you like to do?
I'm getting the feeling that I'm scaring this person, so I'm just gonna say thank you, have a good day, and leave them.
Okay, bye.
So, what do you do as you continue into town? You see a lot of other people around you, and as they were all like working, as some of them seem to notice you, they like poke at their friends and are like.
I'm feeling very self-conscious, but I don't know what to do about it.
These ones don't really seem to be as like scared as the other person was. They seem more like intrigued.
I'm still self-conscious. Are there any like shops or anything?
It seems to mainly be a lot of houses made of made of like just more natural materials.
I guess just kind of wander around a bit, look around at town.
So where do you wander to?
So I came in from this end.
From here. And I'd say you're probably like around here-ish.
Okay. I'll just continue following that road, so I'll end up in.
The town square.
Yeah.
So it seems to mainly be a lot of humans here, and as they see you, they just kind of like, they were very, very much talking to each other. There was a lot of noise coming from here, and as you walk by, they all just like go completely silent, just like, what is that?
It's a horse, but it's not.
Whose horse is that?
Whoa.
Whose horse is that?
Horse!
Horse!
What's a horse doing?
There's a horse.
Got the horse.
You get the bit.
We got the horse
Ow.
in the back.
The chaos of previous campaigns shall never leave.
They never went to Vanaki.
This is gonna be every time.
Okay, you said that, so down there is forest, right?
Huh?
Down by the river?
These are trees, but this is not the forest.
Oh, it's not the forest.
The forest was like very far away from the town.
Oh, okay.
It's just woods, I think.
Yeah, that's just some trees that seem to like be artificial there.
Nope. Well, I don't want to be in town square.
Okay.
Because I'm a shy boy. So I'm going to kind of not really run out, but like I'm picking up the pace.
I think this is why you need to have some coconuts.
Yeah, I'm doing this. Town square, looking for somewhere quiet.
Okay. So as you get about here, you see that probably like one of the only places you see that there's like no people at all is like right here. But you do see one person like sitting at the edge of that open area, that open space.
I'll just go there because I want to be around as few people as possible.
You begin to go towards there.